Today we're going to make some watermelon moonshine, and I am not going to do watermelon boobs. I think I need to talk to a therapist.
I just said, yes, man, right away, anything.
Alright, so if you've never had watermelon moonshine, you are not alone, because it's really not that common unless you make it yourself. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today, hypothetically. So the first thing you need is 5 watermelons. So we're going to cut this up, stick it in a blender, and then we'll move on from there. Alright, watermelon doesn't have very much sugar in it, so if you just use watermelon juice, you're going to have a pretty low yield for your final ABV of the wine that you're going to end up turning into spirit, hypothetically. You need to add some sugar, and the best way to do that so that you don't have like a crazy sugar bowl aroma is we're going to make some invert syrup. So we're going to take roughly 4 pounds of sugar and roughly 2 gallons of water, combine that in our pot, bring it up to a simmer with some acid. Now you can either use lemon juice or you can use some citric acid. So what I did is when I ground this up and put it all in the bucket with the mesh bag, made sure to put it into a bucket with a spigot on it, and I got a hose and another bucket with another spigot. So now I could just let it gravity drain instead of trying to pick up a 30-pound bag of mush. So we're going to let this drain for a while, and then once it's mostly free of liquid, then I'll take it and squeeze it out. Alright, so that made it a lot easier to handle. Now I've got the bag up here on a little strainer, and so we'll just kind of press this out and let it sit for a while. No rush. See you in a minute. Alright, before we get to the next step, I just want to say a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Into the AM. If you don't know who they are, Into the AM makes awesome t-shirts like this one, and honestly I like everything about them. The shirts are crazy comfortable. I mean, they're really soft. My wife steals them all the time to use them for pajama tops, and I like them because they just fit perfect. The designs are fantastic, they're really cool, and one of the other things I've noticed is that like after 2 years of washing these things, the designs don't fade. So whatever they're doing over there, they're doing it right. So if you want to get some cool shirts from Into the AM, check out the link down below in the video description, and make sure that you use my coupon code so that you can get a big fat discount on anything that you buy on the whole site. They got hats, shirts, pants, shorts, and I'm not going to show you the underwear, but I'm currently wearing some. They're very nice. So check out Into the AM if you need to restock your cool t-shirt supply. Now we've got everything in here in the bucket, including the sugar wash. We ended up with about 4.5 gallons of watermelon juice. I checked the specific gravity on the watermelon juice, and it was about 1.035, and so then after adding our sugar wash, it brought it up to 1.065. So that's going to give us a gravity of about 8.5%. I'd like it a little bit higher, but I'm good with that, and plus I'm out of sugar, so yeah. If you want to go a little higher, you can, that's fine. Put in enough sugar to get you up around 10 or 11%. Either way, next step is the same. We're going to throw in some yeast nutrient, and I'm just using some fermented K, a couple teaspoons of that. You don't have to go crazy with this stuff, it's pretty strong. We'll do 1.5 teaspoons. And then our yeast, and I'm just using some good old daddy. I like using the daddy because it just kind of chews through everything. Just a little bit. So now all we got to do is lock this up and give it about a week or so, and it should be ready to go. Alright, so now the wash is fully fermented. It's basically tastes a little cucumbery, and that's pretty typical for watermelon washes. They don't have any sweetness to them, of course, since it fermented all the way out to dryness. It's got a little tanginess to it. It would make a very strange wine, I think. Now all we've got to do is transfer it into our still, and then leave this for the liquor fairy to take care of. Okie dokie. The Liquor Fairy finished the run, and I tasted it, and it was not great. Not great. So what I decided to do was go ahead and proof that down to 40% ABV with some distilled water and see if that would kind of change the flavor any. And no, not really. Once you have a product that's kind of like that, you got to figure out something else to do with it. Why not just add more watermelon? So I chopped up a whole bunch of watermelon and let it sit in the jars with the 40% ABV watermelon brandy and a little bit of mint, and the result was this stuff. So let's give it a try. And right on the nose, it's still very and this was true when it came off of the still. Everything I got from the Liquor Fairy, very earthy and kind of cucumbery, which is interesting. But you know, if you think about it, if you bite into watermelon rind, you get kind of a cucumber flavor to it. And that's what it reminds me of, is watermelon rind and earthiness. It's not horrible, but it's not very good. And I'm sad to say that, but you know, because I was really hoping that this would come out awesome. Because in my younger days, when I was in my 20s, you know, my friends and I would cut up cubed watermelon, throw it in a jar, pour some vodka on it, and stick it in the fridge and have a great time over the weekend. That was delicious. And you can freeze your watermelon and throw it in a blender and then pour the vodka in, and boom, you got daiquiris. So my thinking was, let's just take the watermelon fruit, make brandy out of it, and that's just going to enhance that awesome experience. Sadly, sometimes with this hobby, things just don't work out. As cool as this looks, yeah, it's just not really blowing my skirt up. Yeah, not really doing it for me. And you know, I know it's kind of a shame, but I didn't really do much research. I saw one recipe for it from Clawhammer Supply, but there were no tasting notes or anything like that. So I was just like, cool, I'll give that a shot and put my own spin on it, see what happens. And what happens is it's not really good. And honestly, I hate having stuff that I've got to throw away or that just doesn't work out. So usually I'll just, you know, if it's a whiskey or something, you throw it in the Faints barrel and just run it in a Faints run sometime in the future. But I've got some other ideas. And I think the cucumber flavor is kind of giving me a little bit of a brain spasm. I talked to my wife about it, had her taste it and smell it. And she kind of agrees that it's not horrible, it's not gross, it's just not very good. But if we add some stuff to it and run it again, I don't want to spoil it. If you don't know what I'm getting ready to say, then you've got to tune in for the next episode when I turn this into something better. But I'm going to turn this into something better because, you know, I spent a lot of time on it. Spent about $30 in watermelon and sugar on it. So we're gonna do something with it. And if you want to check out what that is, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and hit the subscribe button down in the bottom. Make sure you hit the little bell icon right next to it so that you can get notified when I post that content. If you enjoyed this video, if you think it was kind of interesting, you learned something, do me a favor and hit the like button, because it's really going to help out my channel. As far as you know, getting us up the charts, and because I've been, you know, absent for a little while. We had some stuff come up, and so every like is incredibly helpful, and I definitely appreciate every single one of them. And if you had your own kind of, you know, failed experiments or distilling catastrophes, go ahead and post those down in the comments section down below, because I think I broke the ice. This is a safe space now. We can all share. All right, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of my Patreons, and especially you guys right down here. Thank you so much for sticking with me in my little absence here, and always coming up with new ideas and ways to help me grow this channel. I am absolutely grateful. For some of you guys who sent me private messages, I am just thrilled to have you guys on my team. So thank you so much. And I mean it, you guys are definitely keeping my lights on. It's been a very hot summer. So I think that's it for this video. So do me a favor and tell your friends. Post this on Facebook, because I don't know how to use Facebook. Keep an eye on the channel. I'm going to keep posting videos that are interesting and hopefully more delicious. Thanks for watching. Talk at you later.